Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DTR. We are here for round 2 of Division 1, and it is a sprint weekend here at Imola, the previously known as San Marino Grand Prix, now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. So we have one shot qualifying, then the sprint race, then another session of one shot qualifying, and then the 50% race as well. Hope everyone is doing well at home. We are just waiting for the drivers now, and we will be straight in to one shot quali. Let us bring up the telemetries. Yep, that's the one. There we go. So, apparently Grelis is one of the few who's actually on the ball for one shot quali right now, although he's lost places to both Cavolis and Mbeni. Oh my word, it's all going on. I can't keep up with this. Let's do that. So, it seems that Evan is the fastest driver so far. I say that, and straight away Miyagi is the next driver to take the P1 position. Let's go on with him. And he puts it into the wall. I am so glad I caught that on stream. And Havoc Connor has left the session. Let's get him an invite. Where are you, Connor? All the way at the bottom, knowing him. There he is. And as they come across the line, Grelis is the fastest driver, the only driver in the 114s. 114.9 from the Red Bull driver. Jeez. It's unfortunate for Connor, who was going round smoothly, but lagged out apparently. So I sent him a invite there. We obviously saw Miyagi absolutely bin it. We have Verstappen, Cassell, and Kazingle all disqualified. Honey Badger didn't set a time either. So your front row is Grelis and Benny. Then you have Stuart and Evan, Mirror, Cavolis, Reliot, Magic Poop Cannon, and so on. So now it is time for the drivers to sort out their strategy for the sprint. It should be relatively simple. It's 11 laps. Honey Badger in the chat is saying, I wonder who's going to get the trophy for most pens. I would probably say it's going to be Kazingle or maybe D-Rush. But we'll just have to wait and see. This is a nightmare track for penalties. For most drivers, at least. There are a few drivers who will go penalty less. But yeah, this sprint should relatively be relatively simple for the drivers picking their tyres. Let's see. Okay, so the majority have gone onto the mediums for the sprint. 4 have gone onto the hards. So you have Stuart, Evan, Tom Putty, and Cassell all on the hard tyres, not trusting that the mediums will get them to lap 11. We will keep the position change up. While the drivers are currently on their formation lap, I will bring up the drivers' standings. As you can see, Miyagi is ahead of Honey Badger. Giannis is in 3rd ahead of Cassell. Mirror is ahead of Benny. Then we have Havoc Connor, Bogorovsky, Cavolis, Benny Bruno, who are the only other drivers to have scored points. And then the last three finishers from last week are Verstappen, Kazingal, and Little Mikey. As Grelis, Relia, and D-Rush all DNF'd last week, and the bottom four drivers in the standings there did not take part in race. This does mean that Racing Bulls are ahead in the constructors. We will see if Miyagi can pull out a miracle drive here to come back from P14 in this sprint race. And see if he can get himself up into the high points. Right, we will go on board with Stuart for the start of the race, just to see where everyone is pulling away or getting past. And we have the last of the grid coming up now, so we will go on board with the Williams driver. His first race of the season, because he was not here last week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And the lights go out and away we go. That was a very long break. But look at the start that Grelis got. He's already, 3 car lengths ahead of Mbeni? That's absolutely nuts. And Evan going for a dive around the outside doesn't work out for him. So as you can see, Evan has dropped down 5 positions as it stands right now. Kavolis is up 2. Reliot and Guna are making positions. What has happened back here? Someone has fallen back and it's Reliot. Reliot is around at Tosa. We'll go back on with the top 4, who are currently going through Aqua Minerale. And, well, that was retiring on track from the Ferrari driver of Reliot. Oh my word, what is going on? The back 4 or 5 are going absolutely nuts right now. Let's get the position changes away. We will stay on with Honey Badger, who is right behind Tom Putty right now, as Grelis sets the fastest lap of a 1:18.556. Clean move from Honey Badger, no need for DRS because it's not activated yet. And Connor has gone into the pit lane and got himself a 10-second time penalty. He knows what I would like to say to him, but I'm not going to. As we have Miyagi now trying to make his way through the field. He's already passed Skipper. He's coming up to the back of Tom Putty now. As Grelis has already broken the DRS to Benny. Only 2 laps in and he has disappeared. Oh, no, Benny's coming back. Will he have DRS after Variante Alta? It's very, very close, but he is going to be just inside that DRS. That is crucial for Benny's race right now, as Kavolis is not going to get the DRS, I don't believe. And there is our first on-track limit penalty of D-Rush. You've got 3 seconds. Stuart is on an absolute push right now, as is Honey Badger. Of course, Honey Badger does have 2 seconds of clean air as Miyagi gets past Tom Putty, and Cassell gets past D-Rush as he goes into the pits. And he gets himself a 10-second time penalty for it as well. Evan right on the back of Poop Cannon right now. Let's see what the Mercedes and Aston Martin do in this sector, because it's not a place where you really want to be going too wide. Through Piratella they come, down the hill into Aqua Minerale. All very much line of stern stuff right now. Tom Putty has got himself a 3-second time penalty. And Poop Cannon gets past Guna. Guna had an issue coming out of Variante Alta. That's unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. But Poop Cannon now has 1.4 seconds ahead of him to make up. Is Guna going to be able to make a clean move? Goes around the outside. Gets it done into Tamburello. Great racing from the both of them. Space was given. And the opportunity was taken. Oh, a slide from Guna. Lets through both of the drivers who were following him. Oh, and Poop Cannon went deep into Tosa. This is turning out to be a fight for the last points paying positions at this rate. They are not doing too well at this stage of the race. Let us go back on with our leaders. So we've got Grelis in first place, Benny in second, Stewart in third, Mirror up to fourth, Cavolis in fifth. And then there is a 1.8 second gap back to the group we were just watching. And that has grown again. Guna is struggling now. He's really having trouble. And Benny goes for the move on Grelis with DRS wide open. Nothing Grelis could really do about that. If Benny was burning the battery with the DRS open, he was going to get away with that no problem. Things have calmed down a little bit now. People are spread out due to penalties and pit stops and damage and just general mistakes. But we definitely have a front five going on here. And to be honest, Stewart, Mirror and Cavolis are in probably the worst position for it in this little DRS train. Because if you're a third or further back car in a train, there's honestly not much you can do once that DRS opens on the car ahead. Will Grelis be going for the move on Benny? Yes, he juts to the inside, cuts back across onto the braking and gets the move done into Tamburello. And I did see Kazingal got himself a time penalty there for track limits as well. Oh, and Grelis was slow out of Vilna. This is giving him something to think about. Oh, and Stewart goes into the back of Benny, losing his end plate there. That's not good from the Scottish driver. That's going to hamper him a little bit, I feel. But Benny and Grelis, we have to remember they are on the softer compounded tyres. I'm not sure if it's going to let Stewart gain too much later on, and something has happened to Kazingal. Oh, and Benny has left the session. That is not good news. Let's get him back in. Where are you, Benny? That's unfortunate for the McLaren. Hopefully he can get back in and make up the position that he has currently lost, and potential position loss to Mirror as well. But Stewart has pounced on the chance, even though he's got a broken front wing. He's now 1.1 second behind Grelis. He will not have DRS if he keeps dropping back like this. And now Benny has been passed by Mirror. I'll tell you what, when Grelis comes across the line, I will get Benny another invite just to be on the safe side. Oh, there we go. Benny has now joined. Hopefully he will be back in the car in the matter of seconds. Now this has created a big gap between the front four. And now Benny is down to fifth, which is not what he wanted. He needed a stable internet connection tonight, because he was in with a chance of getting the big points tonight. Hopefully his missus or his kids are not the ones responsible for the Wi-Fi going down. But who knows? As now Grelis has decided to put his foot down and disappear up the road. And Benny having issues? Because Evan is now past him as well. I am constantly communicating with online services apparently. And now Kavolis has dropped 2 seconds to Mirror, which is not what these drivers really want. They need to be catching up to the front three. Grelis is just absolutely storming away now. 2.3 seconds and no regard for the other drivers' feelings. Will Mirror be able to catch Stewart by the end of the race and pass him? As we've got Evan now pass Kavolis. He was sick and tired of losing time behind the wheels. Will Benny be able to make the same sort of move? As Benny actually touches the butt of Kavolis going through Tosa, and I don't know if that got him any damage or not, but it definitely slowed him down. And I do apologise if you hear fireworks in the background. It is currently the 5th of November in the UK. It is Guy Fawkes Night, otherwise known as Bonfire. And I have my window open because I vape. So if you hear popping or bangs in the background, it's fireworks. So I do apologise. Now Mirror is catching up to the back of Stewart. Is Mirror going to hold up a second? Did Mirror pass Evan? When did that happen? Will Mirror get the move done around the outside? Stewart squeezes him and forces him onto the gravel. That is not exactly the cleanest driving standards from Stewart. To be fair, he is allowed to squeeze, but I'm not sure how much of a squeeze that was. We're going to have to see that from Mirror's perspective and from Stewart's. But it has changed the complexity up in the front here. We now have, well, I mean, all apart from Grelis. With Grelis now being almost 3 seconds ahead, coming up to the back markers. I believe that is D-Rush. It is. D-Rush getting out of the way of the race leader. It's really appreciated to see someone actually following blue flag rules. As Benny has got himself a time penalty, I absolutely completely missed that. Oh my word. And that is a 3-second time penalty for track limits. But Grelis has now started the final lap of this race. Let's go back. We have Honey Badger hunting down Kavolis. He gets the move done long before Tamarella. Oh, and Cavolis almost goes into the back of the Aston Martin there. But as it stands right now, the Aston Martin... Oh my word! Cavolis is out. That was a bit of a strange way to go, but okay, we'll call him Yuki Tsunoda of Williams now. And we have Mirror. He was spun and stuck on the inside of Tosa. He was waiting for the drivers to come past. We will go on with our race leader. So, Grellis 3.2 seconds ahead of Stewart. Absolutely miles ahead. Then we've got Stewart in the Williams. First points for Williams this season. Evan coming across. Then Benny. Then Honey Badger, who overtakes Benny on penalties. We've got Poop Cannon and Miyagi. And the final points position goes to Cassell. Following that, we've got Skipper Guna, who had multiple spins and issues. Then we have Mirror, who had an issue at Tosa on the final lap. He must be absolutely gutted right now. Is he in low fuel mode? No. He's just very disappointed with himself. He goes into the pits for some strange reason. Then we've got Verstappen finishing, and Havoc on it is the last driver to come across the line. There were quite a few incidences of contact throughout that race there, gents. Please try to be a little bit cleaner for the main race, is all I'm going to say to those who tagged the back of other drivers and caused spins. And okay, I just mainly mean Stewart. Drive cleaner, please. It just makes the racing more fun for everyone. We know that you love to give a good love tap and everything else, but if you can't get past someone, it doesn't mean you have to touch them. So now we go back out onto track after our sprint race there. The drivers are selecting their tyres for the short quali for the main race now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So 20 seconds to go. Unless everyone readies up. And then I have to be ready on the button. Let's take a quick sip of my drink. Let's get the timing delta up. There we go. No surprise to me, Grellis is out there in first place again. Oh, and he's back on the grass. What is he doing? That is not really how you want to do that, but he's still keeping with Honey Badger, who is now putting in the qualifying he should have done for the sprint. That is a purple sector 1 for you, sir. Benny has retired from the session. I wonder if he had invalidated his lap or if he is just having no fun around Imola today. I do wonder. And there we go, Miyagi on pole. We then have Honey Badger and Grelis and Magic Poop Cannon making up the top four. Both of the Ferraris in the top six, P5 and 6 respectively. D-Rush, what a lap from you, sir. 7th on the grid. Tom Putty in 8th, Verstappen 9th, Connor in 10th, Skipper in 11th, Kazingle in 12th, and we are waiting for the not-so-flying Scotsman finally coming across the line. Okay, so no time for Stewart, Cavolis, Evan and Mira all disqualified. Cassell and Benny did not set their times. They retired from the session. They were quite smart. They invalidated and retired from the session because of it, where Cavolis, Mira and Evan all decided to finish their lap, even with an invalidation. Oh. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you were not here last week, if you have not seen the race from last week, I would suggest to do so. Mainly for the fact that there's a funny moment where Grelis spins out. He could have been in for the win of the race, but he spins and crashes at China. And it is a spectacular crash, and I highly advise to go and watch it. But the drivers are sorting out their strategies. The tyre wear around here is very dependent on what you use to drive your car. If you are on controller, you are at a massive disadvantage. I would know. I use a controller. If you are on wheel, you can keep your tyres going for far longer. So, we will likely see 1 stops from those on wheel and 2 stops from those on controller. Let us see what the tyres are looking like. So we have Miyagi on mediums, Honey Badger on the hards. We have got Grelis, Poop Cannon, Reliot, Guna, and D-Rush on the mediums. Tom Putty on the softs. I'm not sure if that's the smartest move from the American driver reserving for McLaren tonight. Then we have Verstappen, Connor, Skipper, and Kazingle all on mediums. Cassell on hards. And then the gentleman at the back of the grid all on medium tyres. Let us bring up the position change like we did for the sprint race. I am a little bit shocked about the front of the grid though. I was half expecting Grelis to get another pole position. And Honey Badger invalidates his grid box. Well done, ya plonker. So as the last cars pull up onto the rear of the grid, we will go on board with P3, who is Grelis. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. And Grelis gets a decent start again. But Honey Badger also gets a decent launch off the line. Fighting with Miyagi already. Is Grelis going to go for the dive down? No, he's not. He's just going to keep Honey Badger alongside. Is he going to be able to get past him before Villeneuve? Yes. Honey Badger does the smart thing and backs out. Oh, and the other Red Bull of Havoc Connor does go very wide through Villeneuve. Make sure to get out of the way of everyone around him. That's unfortunate, but that is a very Yuki Tsunoda thing to have done. Okay, we will bring that away. As we have got Skipper losing positions hand over fist. This is not good for the Haas driver. Of course, he is reserving up from Division 2. He will be racing again tomorrow. So I guess those who are reserving from Division 2 this evening are just getting their practice in. Wow, the possible race strategies is absolutely terrible. So Miyagi with the fastest lap as it stands at the moment with a 1 minute 20, I believe, 0.7. Let's bring it up. Oh no, 120.2. As we have Stewart going past Tom Putty through Variante Villeneuve. Let's see who is closest. Magic Poop Cannon on the back of Relia and Gunnar on the back of Poop Cannon. So it's these three drivers we need to keep an eye on at this moment in time. Actually, scratch that. Cavolis is sniffing the back of Cassell right now, along with Benny and Evan. These four are making an absolute charge attempt to try and get back up into the decent point-paying position where they really should be. Just awful qualifying from them, likely invalidating their laps. As Grelis gets the fastest lap of 1:17.8. As Poop Cannon gets himself past Reliot, and D-Rush gets himself past Tom Putty. And oh my word, there's a lot of carnage. Cassell hit the back of someone, lost an end plate, cuts the corner. Oh my word, what is going on? So let's see. The fastest driver to anyone right now is Mirror on the back of Cassell. No surprise there, considering Cassell has damage. And it looked like he potentially brake checked him there, or attempted to. We'll have to have a look at that in a steward's inquiry at some point if it's brought up. So we've got Evan on the back of Tom Putty, easily past the McLaren reserve tonight. It's the other McLaren he's going to struggle with, who is now the closest driver to anyone else. He is currently on the back of Cavolis, who is on the back of Verstappen, as Mirror gets himself past Tom Putty. Cavolis round the outside of Verstappen. Benny goes for the inside, which then becomes the outside of technically turn 2, but we all call it turn 1. It's the first braking zone. But both Cavolis and Benny are now into the points paying positions, and Havoc Connor gets himself a 3-second time penalty, but also gets himself past Kazinga, who is going for a foray on the gravel by the look of things. Relis is just about keeping in touch. Oh my word, what is going on? So Grelis is keeping in touch with Miyagi at the front here. Meanwhile, we will quickly have a look at what was going on with the kick Sauber of Cassell. He lost his end plate and then completely cuts the corner, cuts in front of the Mercedes, and yeah, it wasn't exactly the cleanest of rejoins from the kick driver, as Benny is now up into P9 ahead of D Rush. He's doing what he can to stay with Cavolis, and they're both on a charge at this moment in time, as we've got Guna and Reliot working together to try and close the gap on Buchanan. But that gap seems to keep growing. It's just growing and growing. 3 seconds now. They're going to have to... Oh, and we have a virtual safety car. What is that for? What has happened? It is Havoc Connor. He is without a front wing. The Red Bull driver doing the not quite the full Yuki Tsunoda play, but this has slowed down the entire grid to a crawl due to the delta. Oh, and we've gone green, and Poop Cannon has got himself a drive-through penalty, which he is going to serve immediately. Oh, that's unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. The deltas around here are not fun. But now Reliot has broken a second to his teammate, although his teammate had DRS. That's very strange to see. But seeing Poop Cannon drop like a stone is really disheartening. It's really bad for him, considering how long and how slow this pit stop is normally anyway. It's just painful to see that the Aston Martin has dropped from, what was he, P3, P4? And Tom Putty is out. He has crashed out on the exit of Tamburello, and that's a full safety car. We will keep on with Cassell. We will see if we can see... Oh, no. Tom Putty's car is, or was, where he is now. He's gonna... Yep, there we go. So, Havoc Connor is going to be quite pleased about that fact, because that means he is able to regroup with the rest of the field. I do wonder what happened to Tom. I completely missed it. And we have both Grelis, Reliot, Guna, pretty much everyone apart from Miyagi and Honey Badger coming into the pit. Although Honey Badger has come to a stop. What? Oh, Delta. What is he doing? Honey Badger, we know you're slow at driving in real life, even though you live in Germany and you have the Autobahn. You don't have to drive that slowly, especially when the driver ahead of you has caught up to the safety car. Your teammate is, well, struggling is probably the best way to put it. But the tyre situation at this moment, we have Miyagi, Honey Badger, Mirror all on their original tyres from the start of the race. medium, hard, medium in that order. And then we have everyone else except for Cassell and Havoc Connor who have pitted this lap under the safety car. Not quite sure what happened with Tom Putty, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we will see what happened at some point in stewards. Still all to play for, definitely, but it's one of those situations where the majority of these drivers, I mean, the guys who are currently out in front, one, have not pitted, two, they actually completed their quali, whereas the likes of Benny, Cavolis, Evan, they all either invalidated or got disqualified during their quali runs. So they all started from the back and have made up considerable positions since then. So, saying that, Mirror is currently up 15 positions. He started dead last in 18th, and he is now up to 3rd. Stewart is up 9 places from the start. Benny is up 6. Cavolis up 5, and Evan up 5. Agreed, Bog. The gentlemen at the front of the field on the mediums, who have not stopped yet, are running the risk at this moment in time. I know exactly how long my tyres last around here, and even if the safety car were to come in right now, I would probably have only a few laps left. So I would have come in and put the hards on and potentially pit later on if there is another safety car, and put the mediums on again. But then again, that's just me. Mirror has been listening. He is now in the pits putting on a fresh set of mediums by the look of things. Yep. So Mirror has listened. He's going to go for the 2-stop. So he's going to do a medium hard, maybe? Or maybe even a medium soft. Maybe he's hoping for rain at the end of the race. But who knows? So we've got Mirror to catch up. We've got Havoc Connor and Poop Cannon, both who have had incidents and caused them to drop down the field. Poop Cannon was a drive-through under the VSC. Wasn't paying attention to his delta, went through a corner a bit too quickly and got caught out as the VSC ended. Connor, I didn't quite catch what happened. I did see the aftermath though, and he had no front wing whatsoever. So the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. This means Miyagi is now the pace car. We will go on board just to make sure he's keeping things regulated, not speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. He seems to be doing pretty well at the moment. And he's gone. He already put his foot down. And it's kind of caught Honey Badger off a little bit. I was expecting a little bit more carnage from Honey Badger, but he is in the slipstream though, which means that he's going to be able to keep up. But that was a good restart from the Greek driver of Miyagi. Cassell gets himself a 3-second tyre penalty. You absolute sausage, and That's also sent Kazingal off of the track. So that's all fun and games. Stewart gets himself past Ralliot before Tosa. Gunnar is now on the back of his teammate. Will he try and go for a pass? Will Benny try and go for a pass on Gunnar? We'll have to wait and see. They are the closest drivers together, except for Mirror at the back, who is the closest to Havoc Connor right now. We've got Gunnar is practically pushing his teammate around the circuit at the moment. I do feel that Grelis is going to be in prime position to win this right now, as he does have the freshest hard tyres on the car. Oh, Honey Badger is round. You donut. I don't know if that was actually contact or what happened there. I missed it. We were watching the Ferraris. But, yep, that's both of the Aston Martins now having a torrid time around the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix this evening. This does mean that Stewart is now up into third place. Grelis has inherited second place from Honey Badger. And Verstappen and D-Rush are both dropping back. Gavolis and Benny made the moves nice and easy. Benny is going to likely burn his battery down the straight with the DRS open, hoping to get himself past Gunnar. Although Gunnar does, I apologise, I have got a combination of hiccups and burps. Nope, he's not able to get a move done. Will Gunnar scream at Ralliot and tell him to get out of the way? Cassell gets himself another 3-second time penalty. Let us see what the penalties currently sit at. We have Havoc Connor with 16 seconds, so that is a speeding in the pit lane pen and 6 seconds of track limits and 6 seconds of track limit penalties for Cassell. Everyone else is doing pretty well. I know Tom Putty had a couple of track limit penalties, but he crashed on the exit of Tamburello. And Benny goes up the inside. Beautiful move into the Variante Alta. Well done to the McLaren driver there. That was very well judged. Just unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. Did Benny manage to get DRS coming out of that sector? No, he did not. He is going to have to burn to keep the Ferrari behind and catch the Ferrari ahead. As we've got Evan passing D-Rush. We've also got Mirror passing D-Rush's partner of Skipper. Honey Badger and Connor. Oh my word. Honey Badger causing chaos on his return. I will say, that was very well held from Havoc Connor there. Let's have a quick look at that slide that the Red Bull managed to pull. There it is. Beautiful drifting, Connor. So, as in the sprint, Grelis has now opened up a gap to P2. Miyagi has dropped off significantly. He's also lost position to Stewart. So, now is probably the right time for you to pit, sir. Your tyres are dead. Everyone has fresher rubber around you. You are going to drop like a stone. There you go. Reliot just sweeps around the outside of him. No regard for going on the grass. He just gets it done. Miyagi has not pitted at all. No stops whatsoever. Same as Honey Badger, but Honey Badger is now in the pits. Oh my word, what is going on? They're having kisses and cuddles back here. Oh dear, let's see what was going on there. I sort of blanked out on that. Jesus. Let's have a look. Because I was looking at settings, and it looks like Benny and Miyagi came together, got each other caught up. Yeah, that's unfortunate for those two drivers. Does mean that Benny drops down to P9, Miyagi down to P7. Miyagi, if you are listening, pit, man. Your tyres are not going. As we've got Cavolis now passing the Ferrari of Guna. This is two teams I was not expecting to see fighting each other, to be fair. Is Williams and Ferrari. Stewart gets himself a 3-second time penalty. You absolute sausage. All you had to do, Stewart, was keep it between the white lines. Come on. Okay. Let us see. We've got Benny right on the back of Miyagi. Is he going to go for a move again? He does have a damaged front wing, though. So the McLaren is limping, as it were. So it will not help him through Ravazza. So he will have to try and figure out what he's going to do to try and get a good drive out of the final corner. Because he's missing that right end plate, and that is not going to be good in the left-hand turns. Miyagi doesn't give him the option, comes into the pits as Cavolis now ahead of the Ferraris. But there is a 2.5 second gap to his teammate, who has a 3-second gap ahead of him to the race leader, who is Mr. Inevitable, Grellis. Let's just hope he doesn't crash close to the end of the race again. Will Honey Badger be able to come out ahead of Miyagi? Or is Miyagi's already out? Miyagi is now out ahead of Honey Badger. The real question is, are they going to be taking these tyres to the end? Will they make it to the end? Let's go on board with Evan, who is now one of the closest drivers to anyone else, apart from Mirror, who is right behind, or was right behind Ben. Evidently had a bit of an issue coming out of Aqua Minerale. Miyagi is now going to make... Oh, what the word? Oh dear. Miyagi, I know that Kazinga is not exactly quick, but that's not how you go through Piratella. That was kind of rude of you, to be brutally honest. Just sent him straight off into the gravel. Just not being very friendly, trying to make up for lost time. I understand it, but it's not what you're meant to do. And that's a 3-second time penalty for Verstappen. Benny is once again the closest driver to, near enough the closest driver to anyone else on the track. Oh, bounced over the curb on the inside of Aqua Minerale there. Not exactly what you want to do, but He hasn't lost too much time from that, so on we go. He is going to try and get Poop Cannon on the straight. We've got Guna and Evan both lining up behind Reliant here. Is Guna going to defend Evan for Reliant? Or is he just going to leave him to his own devices? He's boxing him in. Oh, they put him onto the grass. Oh, bit of contact there between Evan and Guna. But that's what happens when your teammate puts someone onto the grass. Oh, that was very close, but well done for holding it and not retaliating, fellas. Benny was not able to get the move done on Magic Poop Cannon down that start-finish straight. D-Rush is now into the pits. I believe someone else got a penalty there. I didn't quite catch it. Grelis is now 4 seconds ahead of Stewart. Grelis just does not care for your feelings, drivers behind. He's just going to walk off into the distance now and hopefully not crash. And yes, I know I keep saying it. It's just because I know it'll get on his nerves when he watches the stream back. Okay, so what is Reliant going to do? He has dropped back from his teammate. He has a stream of cars behind him, all with DRS. Here comes Evan up the inside of Reliant. Oh, Reliant didn't leave too much room there. Oh, Reliant is causing all kinds of issues for the 3 cars behind him, as Benny goes for an audacious move around the outside of Poop Cannon through Tosa. Doesn't quite come off. Nice idea, just didn't have the grunt in that McLaren to get it done. You're going to have to keep an eye on Reliant because his defending style could end up with a crash by the look of things. As it does look like he has a group of 3 fast drivers behind him, all itching to get past him as soon as possible to try and catch up to the back of the other Ferrari. The podium might be out of the question. Oh, and Guna comes in, as so does Reliant. Both of them into the pits at the same time. Along with Benny, who gets himself a 10-second time penalty. Okay, Benny had wing damage, so that's understandable. But I don't understand the want or need to double stack when you are that close to your teammate. You are just going to lose time. Does not make sense to me, as Honey Badger comes through. Ends up in P11 behind Guna. Miyagi in P9. Havoc Connor going well, but he does have penalties hanging over his head at this moment. 19 seconds in total. Guna has now got himself a 3-second time penalty. You complete sausage. This does mean that the closest fight, well, would have been a fight if Connor had stayed on track, was going to be Miyagi and Connor, but now we have Mirror right on the back of Honey Badger, giving him all of that business in the tailpipe. Really scaring or trying to scare the Aston Martin into a mistake here. And that's another 3-second time penalty for Havoc Connor and one for Kazingle too. Oh, you're all doing it now. And just ever so quietly, Skipper up into 4th place. Now, I don't know if he has pitted yet. We will find out. He has pitted once. He's on 14-lap-old tyres, so he's on the same strategy as Grelis, Stewart and Kavolis. The question is he going to copy them and try and get the highest position possible that he can out of this race, following the 3 cars that are 18 seconds ahead of him? He does have Miyagi starting to steamroll towards him now, so he will have to be careful and keep an eye on his tyres. As we have Stewart, who has got himself a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. You silly sausage. Kavolis stays out, going for another lap. Probably going to copy Grelis. And we have Havoc Connor off of the racetrack again on the entry to Tosa. It looks like he's missing a right end plate there. Oh, he has gone completely wide in Piratella, making sure he is out of the way of the cars behind. He understands what blue flag rules are, but he has let Kazingal go. Don't quite understand why he got a 10-second for exceeding track limits there. He was letting cars pass, but I think he's now kind of given up. Very frustrating for the Red Bull driver there. Let's see. Miyagi is now right on Skipper. Gets past before Variante Alta. Kavolis comes into the pits to go on to, I believe, a set of medium tyres is the likely option. Where will Miyagi come out in relation to Kavolis? Because he did come out ahead of Stewart by the look of things. But will he be able to go to the end on these hard tyres? I cannot remember. More than likely, yes. Grelis is likely to go to the end unless he is wearing these tyres to absolute shreds. Let us get rid of that there. Have a quick look at the actual tyres themselves. There is a little bit of blistering, but it isn't the worst graining that you could get. The rears are looking pretty decent too. The rear left is his worst by the look of things at this moment in time. But it looks like he will be able to get to the end on those tyres. He may lose time to Miyagi and Stewart by then, but he is currently 25 seconds. He is a full pit stop ahead of them. So he has the option. He could go onto the mediums to the end from here, or he could stay on those tyres and let them eat into that lead and just cruise home on the tyres he's currently on. Let's have a look at Mirror, who is right behind Guna. Kavolis gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That's both of the Williams drivers now with penalties. As Stewart gets himself past Miyagi, a little bit of a push and shove. Another relatively decent move, but I'm still thinking it could have been avoided if there was contact. Evan now has a 3-second time penalty. Will we get to the dreaded penalty bingo where every driver has a penalty by the end of the race? Mirror right on the back of the Ferrari of Guna. Guna wants to keep his position, but with his penalty, he's going to lose out on 3 positions at this moment in time. Alan Connor gets himself another 3-second time penalty. What are you doing, Connor? I know this is a Marmite track for you. Sometimes you have a really good race, and sometimes you do this. But come on now. Calm down. and focus on staying on track. As Mirror gets himself lined up. Oh, had a look but didn't go for it. It has compromised him in relation to Magic Poop Cannon, though. Poop Cannon being very wise there and not going for the dive into Villeneuve. It would have been a very dangerous move to go for that, and it would have ended poorly for everyone involved. Oh, and Kazingle has now got himself past Honey Badger. Honey Badger is struggling at the back right now. Mirror gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, complete sausage. And Honey Badger uses... Okay, so Honey Badger let Kazingle past. DRS games. Okay, I see how it is, Honey Badger. You're not fighting for any points. You should be trying to go as fast as you can to catch the guys ahead. But... Oh, there's 3 seconds for Cassell. Let us see what is going on penalty-wise now. Jeez Louise. Okay, so for 3 seconds we have Guna, Mirror, Cavolis, Evan, Verstappen, Skipper. For 6 seconds, no one. 9 seconds, we have Kazingle. We have 10 seconds on Reliot. We have 12 on Cassell. They are all track limits. Benny is on 3 seconds of track limits, 10 seconds of speeding in the pit lane. Same for Stewart. And then we have poor Habcon, who's on 25 seconds of penalties. Yeah, I do feel bad for Connor. Oh, and Cassell has DNF'd in the pit lane. Bog, you might want to clip that, because someone obviously still hasn't read the rules after being here for 2 seasons. And neither is Honey Badger, apparently. I caught that on stream. Honey Badger, you are an absolute twit and a half. And Connor gets himself a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane again. Yeah, Honey Badger, it was obvious that it was a... We were watching you, yes. We saw you deliberately not take the second part of Tamburello. Literally, you went around the first part and just went on straight. We saw you. And it is now going to be sent to the stewards. So, well done to you, Honey Badger. Uh-huh. You do know Bog is in the chat with you and saying, I'm done with Imola, after crashing out the way that you did. Kind of adds up to you going, yeah, sod it, I'm done. Ah, dear, oh dear. Anyway, with the safety car coming out, has meant that Grellis is now on soft tyres. I'm pretty sure everyone else is going to be doing the same. Oh, actually, Poop Cannon and Cavolis have stayed out on their mediums. Verstappen has stayed out on his hard tyres. And Kazingle has retired in the pit lane as well. Okay, so here are the notes for the stewards at this point. Cassell and Kazingle retire in the pit lane. Honey Badger, deliberate DNF. And Tom Putty actually looked like it was an accidental DNF, potentially from contact. So we'll have to find out about that one. But yeah. And D-Rush crashes into Kazingle and gets a 10-second time penalty. How did you... Right, he crashed into the car that came out from the pits after Kazingle DNF'd. This race, I'm sorry to have to swear for the second time in as many races, this race has gone to be an absolute shit show. There are 3 drivers without penalties. There is currently 1 driver without a front wing. There is... Okay. Connor is replacing his front wing for, I think, the 3rd time this evening. At this point, I think he doesn't really care. He just wants to finish the race, get around, get it done. But he will need to... well, it won't really matter too much, but I believe the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We will find out at the top of this hill. Both Magic and Cavolis are going to regret not pitting. And I believe Verstappen is also going to regret it as well. I am surprised the safety car has not come in. It will do at the end of the next lap, though, because we have to have 2 racing laps. Now, come on, D-Rush. We've got Skipper to catch up, Connor and D-Rush. The real question at this moment in time is, will 14 drivers finish this race? Because we know what the safety car is like, especially on late restarts, when the majority of the field are on fresh rubber, and there are those who took track position. And the thing is, it's a fast section that you are released onto. It's going to be absolute carnage up to Tamburello. Let me take a hit from my vape and a quick swig of my drink. There we go, a relatively late call, because it really should be doing it before Variante Alta, but Relis is now the pace car. Relis has gone early. He went before the first Ravazza. And he has completely caught Boot Cannon by surprise. And Miyagi gets himself a 3-second time penalty for the fun of it. Benny gets himself past the hard runner of Verstappen. Poop Cannon gets himself a 3-second time penalty. It is now a pretty much a race for P2 for the majority of the drivers here. Yep, everyone down to P9. It is a race for P2, as Grellis currently has no penalties. Poop Cannon has dropped back almost 3 seconds already, purely because he is on the worn medium tyres. His tyres are 2 laps older than Kavolis. Kavolis seems to be a bit more planted on these tyres, as Guna gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Oh! And that's put Kavolis round. Magic had a slide. Kavolis caught the rear of him and has dropped down to P7. Grellis with a 16.4 as the fastest lap. This man is unreal at this moment in time. He's not human. Get out of our league, you absolute alien. Now you know what it feels like to be ALS out. As we've got Benny sniffing Kavolis' tailpipe. He was the one driver who did not benefit from that half spin that Kavolis had through the Vaxes. Is Miyagi going to be able to pull off the move into Variante Alta? Very likely burning battery, but not enough to get past. Oh, a couple of moves going on there. We've got Mirror forcing his way through Evan up into P5. Miyagi had a look. That was probably his last chance. As Grellis crosses the line and finishes in first place, flipping 6 seconds ahead of everyone else. Jeez Louise. So there is your top 3. We have got Grellis, Magic Poop Cannon and Miyagi. Then we have Stuart, Mirror, Evan, Kavolis, Benny, Reliant, Skipper, Verstappen, Guna, D-Rush, and Havoc Connor unlaps himself from D-Rush. But unfortunately, he is several laps too late to do so. And there you have it, folks. Oh my word. It all happened at the start. Then when the first VSC came out, things happened. And then right at the end. But well done to Grellis, Poop Cannon, and it was, I believe, Mirror? Question mark? Stuart. Although it was Miyagi on the podium there. So, congratulations to Grellis, Poop Cannon and Stuart for gaining the most points over the weekend. But well done to Grellis, Poop Cannon and Miyagi for their podium in the main race there. Congratulations to you guys. Let's get the... Jeez Louise. Race Director goes on forever. Ha. Anywhoosie. So the sprint was won by Grellis. The race was won by Grellis. A great weekend for the Red Bull driver, considering he crashed out last week. He wanted to make up for lost time. But it does mean that this is where we have to say goodbye. So, as you should all know, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be tomorrow that DTR returns for Imola in Division 2. You will be hearing the very northern tones of Grelis as your commentator. We will be back for Division 1 next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m., and it should be a doozy of a race, just like this one. So I hope everyone had a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoyed watching. Good night.